I'm going to start at the beginning. I am from West Caldwell, New Jersey. My dad grew up in Newark, New Jersey. My mom grew up in Verona, New Jersey. Dad grew up during the Depression, and he was able to absorb all kinds of hand skills that were done back then that don't exist now because of machines or computers. And I swear he can do anything he wanted to if he just applied himself, because that's what he proved to me in his life. He liked trains, and he liked trains ever since he was 4 years old. As a young boy, he made some of his own trains. And in Newark, there was many trains and trolleys and things that just fascinated him, all kinds of machinery. When he got married, my brother and I liked trains too from the time we were 4 years old. Word got out that we liked trains, and people started to give us trains. Trains their children didn't appreciate, trains that they had used and decided they had no more use for. Garbage men gave us trains, firemen gave us trains. We didn't turn any trains down. As a result, what we did is try to repair everything we got and make it work, and work well enough to be a toy railroad. We don't do actual model railroading. I feature toys specifically because the toy trains are toy trains. And if we go into modeling, kids don't pick up on that right away. If they can pick up more on what is a play value with their own toys, they then can begin to understand building their own things and possibly modeling. It could build a career for some children that come here. So with all this train liking going on and train gathering, my dad and I used to talk about it'd be nice to have a museum, and that's before we had all this much. Modern life is moving along so fast that kids are being shoved into a main fast stream, and they can't see what their history is on the banks. We're just traveling along, we're losing everything. So what I want to do here is show children they are capable of doing everything that we did, right down to collecting all the trains, to building the building to put it in, whatever it takes. They are capable. How do I know that? Because my dad was a child and built himself up. I was a child, I learned things and built myself up. Any child can do it. They've got to have the want and the willpower. And most importantly, support from friends and family. I see quite a few parents that come in here that have no relationship really to speak of with their children. There is no talking amongst each other as to, oh, we could do this together, you and I could build that, or how about we try this? There is nothing. I see parents come in here where their dads are here for an hour and a half. They leave the child with me, and there is no communication between the child and parent. This makes me want to just teach more, because we're losing our history at such a fast pace. Simple things like reading Roman numerals is not something a child does anymore. Reading a simple clock is becoming something nobody knows. Our Constitution is written in cursive, and yet we don't teach cursive. There's a lot of things like that that are being slapped aside as though they don't matter. And one day we're going to look at each other and say, how did we get here? And we won't know how we got here. And it's a shame, because it is the old instilled morals, hard work, perseverance, dedication, and all those fancy words that belongs to a generation that is fading. And today's modern world doesn't have the time for anything of the past. And it's a shame, because that is how we formed ourselves. And it's like we don't want to be our own fossil anymore. And every bit of the organization here, the cleanliness that I try to show and keep, is all part of lessons for kids. Everything we do here is a lesson for a child. And it's unfortunate that so many of these things have to be pointed out and are not a common knowledge anymore. What is the common knowledge? It seems to be like the video game is a common thing, and that's a one-dimensional world. The three-dimensional world is here. Things you can look up, things you can read. You make a decision to do a project, you start your project, you learn from doing it. What am I doing wrong? You figure it out.